Howdy, folks. Welcome back once again to the dusty, horror filled trails of Deadlands Wayward Guns. If this is your first time, Deadlands is a Weird West alternate history 19th century gothic horror steampunk psychedelic romp through a monster filled North America. But I'm getting ahead of myself. None of that's really that important right now. What is important, though, is before anything else, I introduce the cast of wonderful cowpokes that are going to be the players here. Say hi, wonderful cowpokes.
Hi, wonderful cowpokes.
Hello.
Hey.
You said it before I could unmute.
Hello, nurse.
Oh gosh. So, going down here through alphabeticalized order, starting up in the role of Ezra King, anxious mad scientist who, unfortunately, for starting off the session, has come down with a bad case of demonic infection and, dare I say, possession. Ezra is played by Epitome. Epitome, go ahead and introduce yourself.
Hi, I'm Epitome. I personally don't stream. Wear sunscreen.
That's very important. One of my grandma buns got skin cancer. It ain't no joke. And then we have, as our forced to whisper former circus performer turned hex slinging sharpshooter parrot, we have a Hemlock. Go ahead and introduce yourself.
I'm Hemlock. I occasionally play video games, not so much recently. I am a model maker and I have officially caved and started working on my 4.0 model because I have a problem.
Incredible. 4.0. Hot dang. Hemlock is a fantastic artist, though. I highly recommend checking them out, whether you want more straightforward digital artwork, models, rigging, any of that. In fact, one thing that I admittedly was very tempted by this month is the gay wrath set of your character here's, where it's just, because after the Pride Month comes Wrath Month, and you gotta be ready for July. And now, finally joining the cast credits properly, our interim test player who, I don't want to spoil anything, but I have a strong inclination that they're probably going to end up just being a full-time player. That is, of course, as the mysterious, partially mechanized Miss Scarlet. Tyrus, go ahead and introduce yourself.
Hello, I am the Tyrus. I'm not really doing anything right now. I'm not even sure I can call myself a streamer anymore after 2-year hiatus, I think now. But take care of yourself, because sometimes it's all you got.
Mm-hmm.
We're all in this together.
Very true. And don't worry, there's never too much time for a comeback. As long as you're still around and kicking, there ain't never too much time for a comeback. Anywho.
And suddenly, don't call it a comeback. It's playing in my head. Thank you.
I literally was thinking the same
You're
thing.
welcome. I'm so sorry. You're welcome. And rounding out our posse, it is the goth, unhinged, big titty GF that you never knew you wanted, and when you think you finally have her, oh, you find out why you never wanted her. She is everybody's favorite blood mage, and surprisingly, ripped out of her mind occultist, Zenobia Morgana Watley, as played by Obsidia.
At the start of that, I was like, is she talking about Zenobia or me? And I was like, not unhinged. But yes, I play Zenobia, everybody's favorite inbred gothic Miss Frizzle. I am currently not streaming, although I'm on several people's streams. I'm hoping to maybe do a stream next week before I fly out to a wedding of some real gay RPG nerds I know. So yeah, we're just, we keep on keeping on.
And if you're watching this means you've already found me. Hi, I've been here the whole time. My name is Beatrix Money. I'm a variety streamer focusing on roguelikes, digital artwork, and RPGs. Except, of course, when instead I'm a middle-aged goblin cougar auntie, Griselda, where I do more combat-focused games, puzzles, and creative ones. And I'll be playing everyone who is not one of these fine folks, and or is actively controlling the body of one of these fine folks. So, getting started real quickly here, I am going to deal out fate chips because, I have a funny feeling it might be worthwhile to have these today. I've got to sadly discard a few because I'm over. Oh, what a shame to be so wealthy in fate chips. All right. Everyone get their 3 for starting off here?
Yep.
Let me make sure. Yes.
Wonderful, wonderful. All right, so the story so far. The posse has been, ever since they arrived in the bustling city of St. Louis, looking in on a mysterious early message on murder that has since turned into a bizarre occult mystery centered around seemingly a devil literally in the printed details. Or, as I have been dying to call it, and now that it's out in the open, I finally can, the printer's devil. Get it? No one's gonna get that. It is it's a historical joke because apprentices to printing shops were called printers' devils, but it's also literally a printer's
I'm sorry, is this some
also
kind of
ruined the
Victorian joke? I'm too 21st century to understand.
Look, I can't help it
You
if
should
I
have said
have
the
been.
fine print.
God. Look, I can't help it if I have been fundamentally mentally altered from working at a 19th century historical museum for half a decade. That cannot
Was
be
it
held
really that
against me.
long?
It was.
Damn.
Mark Twain House and Museum, Hartford, Connecticut. Great place. Check it out. Anyhow, getting investigating into this mystery, they also found themselves working with a couple of unlikely suspects. We have the housebound occultist from the Caribbean, Antoinette Swan. We have the muckraking journalist who somehow always seems to be around, whether you want him or not, Reese Phillips. We have
Lizard Boy.
I'm trying to figure out who that could possibly be. We have Curtis Deese, the actual printer, one of the actual printer's devils to the St. Louis Respondent, the newspaper where the mysterious early edition reporting on the murder arrived at Antoinette Swan's estate.
And a nut mogul.
Well, yes, he is heir to the Deese nuts fortune, which has gotten significantly more fortuitous since our dear Ezra blew, what was it? was it $20 on nuts the other day?
It was something the equivalent of
It was
200 modern
$10.
dollars.
It was $10, which was enough, I believe, to pay for the concessions of around 200 people attending the St. Louis Brown Stockings season opening game, and has earned himself the fame in town of Nut King as a result.
Not king, not king.
Sadly, we're not in the time period that I can make any Nut King Cole jokes, but so be it. Now, after a couple of close calls, they were able to get their hands on a sample of this strange entity that seems to be going about causing all manner of mayhem in town, in the form of a little bit of slimy black ichor thrown up by our dear mad scientist Ezra. Analyzing this a little further, through the combined efforts of EpitomeOAwkward as a chief experimenter, Ambrose Pierce as...
Ambrose King.
Oh, of course, sorry, I was using maiden name. Or
No!
Bachelor
That's his-
name?
what would the equivalent be,
No.
actually? Yes, Ambrose King, the disembodied yet still living head of Ezra's husband, and a cult interviewer, Parrot, as well. And through their combined efforts, they were able to determine that the main compound in this strange ichor is, in fact, ordinary printing ink. And in fact, Parrot was able to get a face-to-face encounter with the entity in question before being interrupted in their own mind palace, no less. The sheer gall to interrupt someone's meetings and goings-on in their own mind palace by none other than a strange specter of Reese Phillips. And then cut to the next day, and everyone's getting started. It's a wonderful morning, and Ezra picks up a note from the hotel, ostensibly saying that they apologize. There is going to be cleaning going on in the hotel rooms because the madman in Ezra's room is going to have killed a couple of his acquaintances. And I think that's about where we were, is it not?
Yeah,
I
it
can't move my
was.
hands.
Yeah, that sounds about right.
All right. So, that. Let's get right back into things. So, Ezra, you are floating in what feels like a sealed tank of liquid.
Can I see what's going on with my body, or did I black out?
You can distantly see it.
Okay.
You're seeing it secondhand, it feels like. It's hard to tell where or in what state you are, well, metaphorically, because you can't quite get your bearings. You can't tell what's up, what's down, what's in, what's out. All you know is that this ichor is surrounding you, enveloping you, and you can faintly see in your mind's eye your body still in your hotel room, stood there as it puts down the note.
I wasn't expecting you to start with me.
I mean, that's where we left
So,
off.
anywho, as for everyone else, what are you up to this morning? Ezra seems to be taking an awful long time in his room, but you probably haven't been here and with him long enough to know if that's unusual. So what's everyone else up to?
Probably looking over my guns, making sure they're in working order.
Mm-hmm. Where are you doing that, would you say? Is this still in the room, or are you down in like the common space of the
Unless it's
hostel?
normal for people to clean their gun sitting at a public table, probably in my room.
Fair enough. It is
Probably just got done with the morning prep for my character.
it is a open carry state as long as you aren't concealing anything. What about Zenobia and Parrot?
So it was just Ezra that got the note about the murder.
Yep, it was just
Okay.
Ezra that got the secret little demon note.
Gotcha. Well, then I'm going to be doing my normal morning routine. I have no reason not to.
What is your normal morning routine exactly?
It's the get up, have a bath, put on my makeup, make sure all of my instruments are accounted for. I ritualistically touching my dagger and my arcane tome, and just going through the processes of being the goth diva that I am every morning.
So when do you eat the child soul?
That's actually for lunch.
Okay.
I don't
Yes.
start my day with that. It's too much caffeine.
Understandable. You also have to
the
catch the
kids these
child
days,
soul
yeah.
first. It's a real pain in the butt. Alright. And Parrot?
Parrot likes to get up ungodly early, and eat a lot of pastries, and then sneak back to her room to wash her face and do her makeup. And so it seems like she has slept in. But she's just taking absolutely fucking forever.
Fair. While you're down there for breakfast, could you give me a cognition check?
Sure thing, boss.
Oh,
Just give me a moment to remember where any of my skills are.
no trouble.
It's literally right at the top. I'm not cognizant of shit.
Ooh, that
Boss.
is a bust. Unfortunate.
I have not cognized anything ever in my life, and I'm not gonna start now.
You
I just want to know
almost
how the cops are going to hear about this one.
you almost for a moment feel
Sorry,
like
sheriff.
someone is watching you when you're down there, but it's probably your imagination.
Okay.
All right. Oh, also, I think for narrative sake, the now NPC companion of Father Augustus, the 19th century Mary Magdalena for creatures of the night, is actually been hitting the books over with Miss Swan's archives. Because he's not just a pretty face. Anyhow,
Pretty face, you say?
You're giving him far too much credit.
Don't worry about it. Don't worry about it. It's fine.
It's fine.
All right.
Nothing can go wrong, Jimmy.
So then, jumping back to Ezra, You can see yourself from a distance experimentally flex your fingers looking at your hands, and then feel your head turn to survey the room. Your eyes pause for a moment on the revolver in its holster laid on your nightstand. It considers it for a moment, and then you continue to look further over into your bag.
Which bag?
Not the one with Ambrose.
Okay.
You see that you start to rummage through your bag of gizmos and gadgets until you finally settle on the experimental physics experiment that you have in the form of your gauntlet.
That wouldn't be in a bag. That's separate on its own, but yeah.
Well, it is found
It's too big.
eventually, point being.
Yeah.
You see yourself giving it a once-over before carefully putting on the thermodynamic air adapter. And you see that you don't know what your hands are doing, but they seem to be tweaking and tinkering a little bit here and there. From experience, you know better than most other sorts of people that just any old person walking up and starting to tinker with a very finely tuned precision piece of machinery like this is not generally a very good idea. But whatever your hands are thinking, it seems clear that they know an awful more about how this works than you do.
Huh.
Anywho,
Uh.
jumping back, it's now a little later in the morning. I hope everyone's enjoying the music that I have queued up for this. It is one of my favorite parts of this scene. So jumping back, it's a little later in the morning now. Is anyone going down for food?
Yeah.
Alright. Does Parrot have second breakfasts?
Parrot does have second breakfast, but she pretends that it's first breakfast.
Hey, totally understandable.
This is the one that's like good for her.
Like
You
eggs
know.
and stuff.
Yeah, like you wake up at 5 a.m. and you eat like a bunch of cookies when your housemates can't see, and then you get up and you're like, I'll have some granola and some strawberries for breakfast. Just a slight.
It's
to that.
very
I feel like-
Dr. Jekyll, Mr. Hyde coded diet.
I feel like Parrot would unironically be the person eating out of the bag of shredded cheese at 3 a.m.
Oh, please,
yeah.
please don't come for my husband
don't-
epitome like that.
You gotta pay the cheese tax to yourself when you
Of
open
course.
that drawer. Just a little
Exactly.
pinch.
You know how in
Exactly.
Game
See,
of
I'm not
Thrones they
alone.
have the house words?
Mm-hmm.
My house words are more cheese, please.
A very practical motto.
I'm not even joking.
I don't doubt you. So I take it all three of you then are heading down for breakfast?
Yeah.
I'd like everyone to going down there to make a cognition check for me.
Okay.
Where's-
A 7.
Oh,
Second
I got
breakfast.
more
It
than
was
a
the
1.
granola that improved
Mm.
your eyesight.
Cognition, there we are.
You weren't focused on, stuffing cupcakes in your mouth.
Well, it's not a botch.
So, Scarlet, who, properly speaking, Mary Stonecroft, is a little too focused on the food. Zenobia and Parrot, you both notice a familiar face, someone who you were talking to just yesterday, and, at least in Parrot's case, saw even more recently and intimately. sitting at one of the tables, sipping at a cup of
Ah.
coffee while looking at a newspaper, is Reese Phillips.
Is he wearing a tie?
Sure.
Parrot marches up and grabs him by the tie.
Well, say now, I didn't take you for a woman of the night. Very forward of you, Miss Parrot.
How did you do it?
Do what exactly?
I'll just lean over to Zenobia. Does Parrot usually accost random people like this?
Oh, he deserves it. Trust me.
Oh, okay. Stuffs another pancake in their face.
You know what you did.
Oh, all right. I was expecting a bit more in the way of showmanship to this, but I suppose this is as good a place as any to have a conversation. Granted, perhaps in a bit of loaded language. Coded, at least, per se. Do take a seat where my manners. Please make yourself comfortable.
She'll let go of his tie and sit down.
Now, as you know, I'm working at the Respondent, but this is not my only manner of employment. I prefer to be something more of a freelancer. Even in regards of not so much the printed page. You see, in all manner of things, I am something of a mercenary. And, well, as much as I find myself at odds with the right proper Miss Swan, I do find myself at this intersection, something on the same page. You see, while I much prefer to do a little bit of whatever I care for truly in my freelance work, I am not exactly able to at the moment. Someone has me on, shall we say, an extended contract of service, if you follow my lead.
You use just as many words as Zenobia does to say half of what she says.
I suppose I shall take that as a compliment. He gives a little salute with the glass, little like, hey, with the glass to Zenobia.
Zenobia will scoff.
As for the why of the situation, no, actually, I suppose the why is more interesting. Let's start with something to build anticipation. As for the how of the things that occurred on the night prior, well, I have learned an awful lot in a lifetime very few get to experience. And I would say that if I was speaking in terms of general humanity, that perhaps there's no human way to experience the trials and tribulations and learned skills that I have experienced. Does that make things more clear for you, Miss Parrot?
No.
Oh, well.
You're clear as fucking river water. What?
Well, I suppose that is fair.
Why'd you stop me?
let me ask you this. If you saw someone who was unwittingly inviting disaster, and you yourself knew better, would it not be the only proper thing to provide them some warning?
Yeah. Warning. Verbal warning.
And I see that as exactly what I did. The fact of the matter is you were engaging with an entity not fully of your own comprehension, young lady, and may I say that if it had not been for my interruption of your little tete-a-tete, that you would be in quite a worse predicament. Not unlike the one that, well, I shouldn't go telling tales out of school, but not unlike the one that someone else of your acquaintances might be experiencing this fine morning. If I hadn't intervened,
I
you'd be
snap up.
doing about as well as your friend Ezra is right now, within the same thing.
Charlotte pulls her gun, points at him. You threatening us?
Quite the contrary. I'm warning you.
I'm gonna go check on Ezra.
Oh, by all means, do take the whole posse with you. He puts a hand to his heart as he raises the other, cup still in hand. Scout's honor. I won't leave if you're not through questioning me. I am, if nothing, not a glutton
I'm just gonna
for
walk
the
away before he
exchange of
finishes talking.
information. Alright. Is anyone going with Scarlet?
Yeah, I'll go.
Parrot huffs and like does that thing when you get up from a table and you want to be a bitch about it and you just like give it just enough of a shake that like maybe their drink spills a little.
He once again gives you the little salutary raise of the coffee cup and a knowing nod. All right. So, you head upstairs back to your rooms, sort of at far end of the hotel floor plan. And it does kind of dawn on you that, oh, we haven't actually seen him yet today. As you approach, all of these rooms are fairly small, so I am going to have to do this in the mind's eye. But as you approach, who is ultimately opening the door?
Well, I'll call for Ezra as I'm going up the stairs.
No response.
Few knocks on the door. Ezra?
No response, but you hear someone walking about inside.
Did anyone come with me?
Yeah, we all came with you.
Yeah.
Okay, just making
Parrot's
sure.
gonna push
My mind
by and
blanked
open
on
the
that.
door.
So I'll look back.
All right.
Okay, no one's giving me a signal. I'm just gonna go in.
But literally, Parrot just said they were going to go open the door.
I didn't hear it. Sorry.
'Cause-
Yeah, yeah. She
Alright.
would just push past you if you did not immediately open it.
All right. A couple of things are gonna happen in relatively quick succession here. First of all, as you open the door here, you are briefly able to see Ezra is stood there, back to the window, facing the doorway. The first thing you notice is there's some viscous black fluid dribbling from his tear ducts, his nose, the edges of his mouth. The second thing you notice is that muffled by a pillow in front of it, there's a gun, which has just been shot at you.
Okay.
That
Who is you?
Oh, whoever opened the door. So Parrot, I believe.
Okay.
That is in the upper guts.
Almost head.
Very close. For ba-da-ba-da-bum. Now, relatively low damage. Only one level of wound.
That's what he gets for resulting to skullduggery.
So with that muffled bang, he tosses it aside. You see in the other hand, he's wearing a strange glove. And now that that first action is taken care of, I'm going to need everyone to roll me some quickness.
Quickness.
Now, do I roll my own quickness, or are you rolling my quickness?
You can roll your own quickness. It'll be fun.
Okay. Makes me feel like I have something I can do.
You know what? No. I think just for you,
sure?
Parrot, just for you, Epitome. Oh, sorry, not Epitome, just for you, Hemlock.
You went
This
through
is a-
everyone.
This is a rat battle scenario.
Oh, thank God. Rat battle is the only thing that can save me.
So it goes 1 for not botching, 1 for 5, and then 1 for every raise after 5.
Correct.
Okay.
All
I'm
right.
so close.
So that is 2 cards to Parrot.
3 for me.
Mm-hmm. 3, 4. Oh, and for Ezra. Lucky, lucky. And that is 2 for Tyrus. Oh my goodness gracious. Is that what I think it is?
I don't
Damn
know.
you.
I
How
think
dare you
that's...
give yourself the Black Joker?
I had no control over that. That's a lovely coincidence, though.
Is that the black or is that the red?
I think it's black as the words in
Yes,
black.
I believe that is black.
Okay.
All right.
Okay, I have no idea what these cards are for.
It's
Oh,
initiative.
you'll find out.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, this is how initiative works.
Okay.
You go jokers, aces, the royal cards, and then it's numerical down to 2.
Mm-hmm.
Well, Joker can go whenever they want.
Yes, but for the purpose of determining, who would go first, Joker goes before anything else.
That's true.
All right.
It's quite fun. You get multiple actions,
Mm-hmm.
Assuming you
So
roll well.
in theory.
let's start off Ezra. You know what? Just for the heck of it, just to be fair, I'll roll a reliability check. Oh, what a coincidence. It's the definitely not rigged result. Excellent. All right, let's see. Who do we want to target first? Well, you know what? Let's try and strike while the iron's hot and focus down on Parrot first, because the thing currently controlling you has no idea who does what. So, I am going to need a nimbleness, a nimbleness check here. Let's use your deafness, 4d6, and I need... How many fighting levels do you have, Parrot?
I just have fighting knives too.
Okay, so we're looking for a target number of 7 or better. That's an 11.
And I'm making a nimbleness check. Yes. Straight nimble.
Not yet. This will be
Okay.
something that you'll be trying to resist a little later. Alright, so with that, let's see. Right arm. Alright, so as you see Ezra's body manipulate this strange gauntlet, you can hear it grinding and whizzing and whirring as it suddenly feels much colder. It's almost emanating out of the glove at you. And it focuses in on your right arm. And it feels sluggish, it's harder to move. And you realize you can barely move the arm at all. You'll be needing to make a nimbleness check if you first, beating a 11 if you want to do any task that requires your right arm.
Oof.
Alright, that is the Joker. Ezra, if you would be a dear and put that card on the table.
I already did.
Oh, thank you. That's so sweet. Alright, so, do we have any aces?
Yeah, I have
Alrighty.
the Ace of Clubs. So, seeing that Ezra has gotten feisty and is possessed by inkery, I am going to move in, if possible.
Mm-hmm. I'm going to say, for the sake of this, since the room is relatively small, I imagine these rooms couldn't have more than, say, 20 feet by 20 feet of space at the very most. Like a
Okay.
one-room apartment. No bathroom. That's at the end of the hall.
Okay.
So, yes, you can move, I would say, basically within that distance, if you would like.
Okay. I will do that, and I'm going to stab Ezra.
Okay. Let me just double check quickly what the rules for non-lethal damage with a knife are.
I don't know why that's relevant.
I don't recall
it's-
them saying anything about not trying to hurt them. I believe the
Fair.
exact words were, "I'm going to stab them."
You know what? Fair.
Statistically, getting stabbed with a knife is not usually fatal.
Yeah, I'm probably not going to just immediately gut Ezra.
Oh,
Though most
that
I mean-
people only get stabbed once.
that reminds me also, Parrot, I need you to make a stun check. Roll your vigor. You're looking for a 5 or better.
Fucking
Okay.
Yeah.
You are not stunned.
Cool, thank you.
You do still have the -1 modifier from the wound, though.
You're so benevolent. Only a -1 and a paralyzed right arm for the sniper. Thank you. I love it.
You can probably do trick shots. I don't know, maybe you learned how to shoot with your feet or something.
I just smack it with my Winchester.
I mean, that is non-lethal.
Alright, did you
I haven't rolled yet.
All right.
I was
So
waiting for you
let's see.
to finish screwing over Parrot.
Of course. So let's see, Ezra, what is your fight in we got here? That is a 2, so yep, that hits the 7 you needed to hit. Roll for hit location.
Okay. Oh, so close. If I
Ooh.
had cast Heartseeker, I could have stabbed him in the face.
Yep. Oh boy.
How do you put names on bullets, not knives?
Oh, actually, I just noticed something for the hit location modifiers.
Oh shit.
When fighting, that adds a +2 to the hit location, or it can. Would you like to add 2 to that roll?
Yes.
Okay, that is 2 extra. That is 2 extra damage dice.
Okay, that's only 4 more, so 12 damage.
Okay.
As Zenobia just darts into the room, barreling past Parrot and Scarlet, just stabs Ezra in the face.
Yeah, you just stabbed him in the face. Oh,
You know
God.
what's worse? I
What?
have an armored vest. It would have been fine otherwise.
Oh boy. All right, now, so that is 2 levels of wound, I believe.
Yes, I'm gonna mark that off.
Okay, I am going to do a quick little check here. Let's see, for stun. Alright, that's a 5, so to be fair, I'm going to spend some fate chips, so this is not gonna be a total failure, hopefully. You know what, let's start with... Let's see, I believe if I use a red, that means I can't... No, I can use multiple reds, right?
Yeah, you can.
Yeah.
Alright, yeah. So let's start with a red, and roll again.
You just have to keep giving yourself more fate points.
Okay, that's 8. One more. I'm playing by the rules. Let it not be said that I don't play by the rules. Okay, yeah, that is now enough. So you are not stunned. Congratulations.
But did he still take the wounds?
Yes.
Yes.
Oh, he is
Okay,
still
cool.
very much bleeding from the face.
Good to know. I can heal you, don't worry.
Goodness
I just love how you're like, I'm not gonna gut him right away.
Got Sim right
Nearly
away.
kills them.
Oh,
no, I
and-
didn't gut him. I stabbed him in the face.
I feel so
Specifically
silly.
avoided the guts.
Yeah.
I feel
yeah.
so silly I forgot to roll. Parrot, from the first wound you lose 4 wind, and Ezra, from this wound you lose 5 wind.
I really hope that, like, Ezra now, as looking at this as a third party, is like, oh my god, Zenobia just stabbed me in the fucking face.
Yeah,
To be fair,
like,
I also shot at Parrot.
Yeah.
this
Did
is
not miss a beat.
this is a very out-of-body experience right now, but, yes. Yeah. Yeah. Alright. So that was aces. Do we have any other aces? Do we have any kings?
I think the next up is Jack of Hearts.
If no one has any kings or queens, I believe that is the case. Alright, Ezra! It's your turn again, technically! Okay.
Yay.
Well, I think, congratulations, you have successfully surprised the printer's devil. Now you can only focus on one target at a time with this, so you feel your arm start to thaw. You still have the penalty from the wound that you're going to have to deal with, which is a -1 to checks, but you can move your arm again. Zenobia, let's see, what can we do about Zenobia? How do you solve a problem like Zenobia?
Stabbing. It's usually how this
Oh, that
unfolds.
is a 19. Okay.
Ooh.
That's not how
Oh.
Zenobia solves problems. They're trying to
Ooh.
solve you as a problem.
Okay, so that
Oh my.
is a 5 plus 2 raises, I believe. So let's see.
Does it have any issues since I'm in melee?
I mean, that is a good point. Technically, I think this would increase hit location since this is fight and distance.
I meant more of like for the DC, would it have to be against my defensive stat as opposed to
Nope.
just a base 5 to hit me?
It's technically, I'm working with this under the idea of it being a firearm of sorts in terms of ranged stuff. So let's see. Gizzards. You know what? Sure. Let's actually stay right there. So as this is happening, you feel a icy chill grip your chest. Your heart is starting to skip beats. It's harder and harder to take breaths in, and exhales come with a shaky chill to it. So, you are... I'm gonna need a vigor roll for you.
Oh my.
Okay. 23.
Okay, excellent.
40, 12 vigor Zenobia strikes.
Excellent, excellent. So,
I didn't realize your vigor was so high.
Zenobia is a sturdy girl.
it's true. Alright, so
Just keep going. Going.
you aren't immediately wounded is the good thing. However, starting on your next action, you're going to be running out of breath because you find you can no longer breathe in from the cold paralyzing your chest.
Okay.
The good news is you got a while before you're running out of wind.
I do have lots of wind points.
So that, since that is a gizzard's shot, that is... Oh. Okay. One more. Okay, so that is... How... Would you rather take some wounds, or would you rather take 14 wind?
I'd probably just gonna fate chip the wounds.
Okay. Then currently you are taking 14 wind before any chips.
So I'm taking 14 wind and 2 wounds, or
No, instead of the 2 wounds.
oh, so it's just 14 wind.
Yep.
Okay.
I had to roll extra dice because it had to be something to do with the gizzards.
Gotcha. I forgot how many wind points fake chips restore.
Shit. I just went over this with my other campaign. I think it's 5?
Here we go.
Right?
It is 1 wound or 5 wind.
Okay.
Okay.
So I guess I will take 4 wind out of that.
Alrighty. Okay. So, let's see. Unfortunately, Ezra is up again.
How?
He had a lot of royal cards.
Yeah, 2 jacks and a joker. Alright.
Both of the jacks that are directly before mine. Fuck
Yeah.
off.
Yeah.
Game's easy when you cheat.
So, for...
I mean, come on. I literally got 2.
Actually, I think you got the very last card.
Oh, that...
No, you
Yeah,
didn't. You didn't.
Alright,
Or
so...
last.
Ezra is going to back up again, clutching the bleeding face with one hand, so the gun is, like, not really usable right now at all, so that's a good thing. That's the good thing. The bad thing is, let's see if he can get a little more wind out of you. Can I get a vigor check from you? I will say, let's go with +3 for the exceptional success you got prior.
Okay. 13.
All right. So, you still have not reached the point of blackouts, asphyxiation. This is essentially what the vigor rolls are keeping you from. We do still have to roll for some wind loss. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. Okay. So that is 18.
18. Okay.
Wow.
So I'm just gonna be soaking this with 10.
No. And we were worried about
Okay.
Ezra.
Mm-hmm. Look.
Well, it's Ezra is hard when he literally goes 3 times before anybody.
Yeah!
Yeah.
You know, there's no way for me to fix the deck when it comes to action cards. This is just a very happy little accident. Alright, so you were able to soak all of the wind?
Yeah.
Okay. Now it is time, then, for Parrot. You are up.
Ezra is never going to be like this effective in combat
No,
ever
he is-
again.
No,
he is
like-
no, I'm
ruined
not.
him.
Oh,
You're
to be-
wasting all of it right now.
To be fair, this is because when a demon uses mad science, they get to mess around with it because this is like bread and butter to them. This is like, we don't even have to roll reliability, you know? This just works for us.
Sure.
Is it this turn? Do I waste my turn if I try and shake off this paralysis with the nimbleness roll? Or
I will say you can do that instead of movement if you like.
okay, I'm not moving.
Okay. So you use your movement to warm itself back up, shake it out.
Oh. Okay.
You are fully warmed up. You could run a marathon.
Well, I'm making a fucking called shot at the arm with the gauntlet.
Okay. Alright, so let's get this
So
chart
it's-
up.
It should be
Called
shooting
shot.
rifle -4, right?
Yes.
For arm.
That is correct.
Okay. I'm just gonna hit the button.
Oh, -5 since you
Oh,
still
well,
have the
yeah,
wind
it'll-
penalty too, yeah.
It'll do the -1 for me. So that is
Damn.
a 13.
Okay. Yeah, 13 definitely hits. Roll that sweet, sweet damage. Ooh.
Oh yeah, where'd you hit him in?
Oh, the
the arm
arm.
with the gauntlet.
Oh, you're called shot against freezer arm?
Yeah.
Like, cut that out.
All right. Let's
If
see.
it explodes, it explodes. We'll deal with it.
You have to max that 8. It didn't max it out for you.
Oh.
Uh-oh.
So roll another D8.
Oh
There we go. 25 to the freezer arm.
Woo! All right. So that, even with the big un that Ezra is, that is still a tasty 3 levels of wounds to the, I believe it was left arm?
It's whatever arm has the laser gun.
I don't
It's left
remember,
arm.
but it's that one.
All right. Let me roll to make sure that you're still up and going. Oh yeah, 14 vigor. You are not stunned in the slightest. Ah, what a relief.
That would be horrible.
I know, truly terrible. And then 3D wind. Okay, so 10 wind.
I am down to 1 win.
Woo! Okay, and now I do have to roll reliability for this. So normally, its reliability is 15. This means if I roll a 16 or higher, something really bad will happen.
Does Ezra get to join the amputee club? Let's find out.
Oh, Lord have mercy.
You know what? Just for flavor, if you want, just this once, as you try to exert a force of will, I will allow you, if you would like, to spend fate chips to boost this roll.
Okay.
Alright. That is an 8.
Okay, we're good.
Oh, I meant to boost it as in go over.
Oh.
You wanted to intentionally fail?
Well, because then you would be knocked out and it, I don't know, probably would leave. It's up to you, though.
I'm going to hold on to it for now.
Okay.
I'm still sitting on the personal legend in case things go bad.
Alright, so you are still just barely standing. Then next in the turn order is, I believe, Tyrus. Scarlet is up.
Yep.
Oh, this is lovely. Everyone got to act at least once.
Barely.
That's also part of the reason why.
I love when that happens.
Let's see, where is it? Nimble. Here we are. Well, I don't think I need to shoot them at this point, so I'm just gonna give them a good right hook.
Alright, roll that fight.
Yeah.
Oh.
Roll terribly.
Would you like to boost that at all?
Wow, my rolls and everything today. It's been fantastic. Okay, okay, remind me how this works.
So if you want to roll better, you would toss one of your red chips, and that would allow you to roll another d6 and add that to that. Or you could toss a white and just roll another die, but they don't add together.
Yeah, white is a do-over. And if you do a red, you can't then do a white.
Right. Yeah.
Alright, come
so
on.
roll another d6.
So you have 2 levels of Brawlin', was it, Ezra?
They only rolled one.
Yes.
Oh, sorry, Ezra. Yeah.
Alright, so that means the target number is at least a 7.
So you need to roll at least a 5 on this d6 that you're going to be adding.
Not impossible.
Nope.
Okay.
You can spend more red if you want.
No.
If you want.
Alright. Oh. Oh, well, thank you so much, though, for spending a red on a trait roll. Let me just draw myself another tasty little chip.
Okay, no one mentioned that part.
It's fine.
Yeah, it's only 1 chip. Alright. You try and land the punch. It's just unfortunately a little bit of a whiff. So that is the 7. Make sure you put that out on the table.
I'm gonna blame how crowded the room is. Can get a good right hook in.
Fair. Fair, I think. And that means Zenobia. I believe your 6 is next.
I'm stabbing Ezra again.
Okay. Are you doing a cold shot, or are you just letting the chips land where they may?
I'm just going to do the heart of the cards on it.
Oh, could you also give me a vigor check?
13.
Okay, still not suffocated. Okay.
Oh no, a 6. I think I missed.
That does miss, just by 1.
Yeah. Tragic. You were lucky, young Ezra.
Let's see.
He's 27.
So then next is going to be Parrot.
By the way, Tyrus, click your 7 card and drag it out onto the board.
There we go.
Yep, you got it.
Mm-hmm.
I have fight and knife, but I don't have an official knife. I have a pocket knife.
Potato knife.
I mean, I would allow that still. I'll say, I don't know, that it's a slight penalty. See, how difficult is using a pocket knife as a shank?
I mean, it depends on the
It's the
pocket
same
knife.
basic
I got
thing.
pocket knives that
Yeah.
do pretty good for shanking.
Yeah.
I
I
mean,
would just
they'd
treat
be
it as a
smaller.
normal knife, not a
Yeah.
Bowie knife.
Okay.
Yeah, so it would just be a D4 bonus damage as opposed to a D6.
All right, you can go ahead and stab if you like. You can stab if you wanna. Stab your friend in the face. Or any other part, really.
This sucks. I don't want to stab. I like Ezra.
Oh, you're liked. I'm
Right.
glad.
So would for one of my tricks, bandage,
Mm-hmm.
it says the range itself. Is that only available to use on just me, or
Let's see.
would it be
I
touch? Because
will
it literally just says
check.
stop wind loss from serious or worse wounds.
Let's see.
Actually, yeah, I'm going to be losing wind starting next round, so, like, I'm passed out.
Let's see. I think that should be.
I was thinking about Zenobia, but
What about me?
stopping your wind loss.
Oh, that would be appreciated.
Is it a trick or a
Yeah.
hex?
It's a trick.
All right. Let's see.
But when I look up Deadlands bandage, it brings me to the Dead Island wiki.
Wow, that's silly. I'm gonna make sure I find the answer to this because this seems like a very important detail to know for later too. Bandage, here we go. So it says range touch in the version I'm
so I
looking
just wrote the wrong one.
at. So you
Okay.
should be able to touch someone and use it, yeah.
Okay. I guess I'm gonna go poke Zenobia. I will try.
Grab that ass.
Okay.
Reach out and touch face.
So you did. All right. So we're not attacking Ezra, but we are like reassuring pat on the back Zenobia. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So for the hexes, for the tricks, it suggests the so you roll smarts, and you need at least a 5. And for every success you receive, you draw a card. And if you get even one red card, it works. Okay. 50-50 shot.
Are you gonna draw for me, or should I?
Oh, I can draw, sure. That is 1 card to Parrot. Please be red.
It's not.
Oh.
Cranberries.
I pat Zenobia on the back and nothing happened.
She can't feel it, so it's okay. Nobody will know what happened.
Well, the good news is if you decide to try and cast it again, you have slightly better odds. Okay. Gosh. Then I believe our last action is going to be Zenobia.
No, we
The
still
last
have a
one, we have a
two.
couple after I go.
We do? Oh, that's
Yeah.
right. Yes, okay, sorry. So Zenobia first, then it is Mary.
Alright, I'm going to stab Ezra again. There we go. That's an 11.
Yeah, that'll hit. Roll for hit location, and you can add 2 since you're fighting.
Right to the leg!
Okay. Yeah, that's gonna stay in the legs.
Yep.
You don't need to walk, right?
I mean, you live without one leg, so I guess I could.
Alright.
And it's 9 damage to the leg.
Okay.
I'm not sharing my
See, you all think
prosthetic.
that, oh man, she hit the leg. No, I'm intentionally avoiding the armored chest.
Ah, that's clever. That's clever. Alright, so
I told
that
you about my
is...
chest padding.
Oh, did you already mark it down, Ezra?
I did.
Ah, alright. And no matter what I roll for wind, that is going to bring you to 0, which means
Yes,
you
it
are
will.
unconscious now. Alright, so...
And I am slowly bleeding out until someone does something.
So what is your 2 wounds to the face, 3 wounds to the arm, and 1 wound to the leg?
Yep.
Okay.
So,
Um,
as Ezra's body slumps to the floor, you see the ink devil emerge in this spasmodic, jerky movement out of his orifices, all of the orifices,
Heyo!
on the
Yeah.
face, on the
Okay.
face only.
Yeah.
And as it coalesces, it turns into a vapor and just through the crack of the opening parts of the window. So yeah, you can breathe again, Zenobia.
Beautiful.
Parrot, you have full movement of your arm. And Ezra is unconscious on the floor.
And bleeding out.
So is Ezra
Okay.
bleeding from every one of his wounds? Like,
Only the
just the
serious
level
or higher.
3, so...
okay.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
To
important to
list the
know.
wounds I remember: stabbed in the face, shot in the arm, stabbed in the leg.
Correct.
Yep, so it's the
Pretty
arm
sure
that's making
all
it
those
bleed
are
out right now.
bleeding.
So as he drops to the ground, Zenobia with her knife in his leg will pull it out and turn to look at Scarlet and Parrot and go, well, it seems as if we've driven off the demon, so if you could please just keep your weapons pointed at him as I do some rudimentary first aid.
Alright, I am going
Scarlet is getting on the floor, cradling Ezra's head in her lap, and pulling out
Aw.
a scarf.
Oh, I thought you were going
And-
to put a gun at it,
Oh god!
in case he's still possessed.
Of
No.
course. Alright, I am going to roll...
And she's cursing under her breath.
I am going to roll a chance die here. I would like... you know what, Ezra. High or low?
Alright.
Okay. Okay.
Yay, that's high.
So as this is happening, you hear the heavy footfalls of a awkward prosthetic, a human leg, and 4 dog legs as the door bursts open again to an excited August. So I think we may have found a bit of a breakthrough in the... I'm sorry? What is
Ezra's
this?
possessed by a
I
demon.
think I'm the only one that wouldn't have blood on them.
Okay.
Well, I mean, you do now. I'm in your lap.
Oh, that's
Yeah.
true.
Okay, fair enough.
I did stab him in the face. Padre, would you be able to do your little religious doodads to fix this?
I will certainly do my best. Okay, so he is going to try to do some.
His healing is better than mine, so I figured if we can have him heal, it'd be better to have him do it.
So
You
I'm
mean
going.
better or less traumatizing? I just want to be clear on this.
Both.
Okay.
Both.
All right,
Both is-
so let's start with the serious wound. He was going to try to lay on hands. Come on now. What was Ezra's denomination growing up?
Catholic.
Okay, that works then.
I think I was going to make him Jewish, but then recently I've reconned it to Catholic by accident, so I'm just gonna run with it.
Accidental
I
Catholicism.
accidentally was baptized.
Yes.
I
the
meant to
Jewish to
die like
Catholic
last
conversion pipeline.
Oh gosh. All right. So, then I believe we have to get the equivalent for the healing, which is going to be a 9 or better.
Oh, yep.
Yay.
Okay, 18. Yes. He focuses first on the leg, and you see he winces slightly in phantom pain as he shifts his own right leg underneath him, or the prosthetic thereof.
I think you mean the arm, because that was his most wounded limb.
I thought the... Oh, yes, the arm. My
Yeah,
mistake.
he took 3 wounds to the arm.
Yep.
Goodness gracious, I forgot also that... he is both one-eyed and also has the prosthetic limb. Yeah. All right, yes, so your right arm is healed. Any of the shrapnel that came in with the damage to the gun is popped back out. And let's move on to the next attempt.
At least the other one's only 2 wounds.
Yeah.
That's true. Okay, so that's a 7 or better. Okay. The face is patched up. And then one more. This is, I think, just the light wound, right?
Yeah,
Yep.
it's just the 1 wound to the leg
Okay.
that I did to drop him.
Alright, come on.
By
Okay.
receiving, discard your card.
Oh, that is unfortunate.
I can't heal him at this point because I will always reduce a wound to only 1 wound. So
Mm.
I mean, I still think the face wound down to 1 wound would still be pretty good.
no, he already healed the face wound.
Oh, okay,
Yeah.
that was the first
Yeah.
one. Okay.
Yeah,
So,
healed everything except the legs. You're just gonna limp.
he winces and grabs his side a little bit as there is now some internal bruising in his guts as he takes on the currently highest wound level to his own innards. Okay, I wasn't able to get the last one.
Well, I'm sure he would appreciate it anyway, Padre.
I'm not bleeding anymore, right?
You were bleeding?
You weren't bleeding, you were suffocating. That was the windfall.
No, I was shot in the stomach.
I thought you only took 1 wound.
But I had to do a fucking vigor test.
Oh, that was to see if
Okay.
you get stunned. Technically, I'm supposed to have those get rolled whenever someone takes a wound.
Okay.
All right. Okay. Does anyone else want to try to make medicine rolls?
Yeah, don't care at this point. He'll live. More
Walk it off.
importantly, Zenobia will go over and find Ambrose.
I don't actually have medicine, so.
I have general medicine that I can try.
Yeah, that would work for level 1 and 2 wounds.
I got a
I'll
lot of
take a-
medicine. When did I get a lot of medicine?
I'll take a handkerchief and wipe the blood off of Ezra's face.
All right.
Aw.
So is that self-treatment?
I'd probably try to help the last of Ezra's first.
Aw.
Oh, that's so sweet.
You are much kinder than I would be.
So you patch up the leg, and are you going to blackjack yourself?
Huh?
Oh,
Oh yeah.
yeah.
Sorry, it's been a while since I watched Blackjack.
The only episode I remember is when he performs surgery on himself in the African outback, or maybe it was the Australian outback, while being hounded by dingoes.
I want to rewatch Blackjack. So
What a
bad.
guy! What a doctor!
Okay.
I have no idea what you're talking about, but I'm
Would you
interested.
like to chip anything?
Nah.
Really?
Really.
Okay.
Blackjack is an older anime about this genius surgeon who has to do a bunch of weird random surgeries for random reasons. It's awesome. Highly recommend.
Now keep in
It's
mind,
also
you
very
will
aesthetically
keep
pleasing.
the wound penalty until that heals properly if you don't treat it.
Yeah, that's fine.
All right.
You can always ask August to heal it, just to fuck himself up more.
Yeah, I mean he can try. It's only a level 1 wound, so it's relatively. I think like after the last time, he's also kind of like, oh, come on,
I'm better
doubts
than this.
himself. Come on, get in the game, August. Goodness gracious.
I feel like there's no real downside to you doing it.
Yeah, worst case scenario, he injures himself further.
And then we laugh.
Oh.
Oh, man.
No.
You know what? The chip. Come on. Come on. August, I know you can do this. I know you're capable of great things. Like
There
that.
we go.
Okay. The graze of a bullet wound that you have is healed over.
It would have been so
Congratulations.
funny if I had to heal August to one of his wounds.
Oh, it would have been.
Faith healers can't heal themselves, I take it.
Nope.
Yep. But they do have the best healing in the game.
Mm-hmm. It's
Uh,
almost like God is actually pretty chill with his powers as long as you aren't a terrible person.
However, you could have powers with no god, and then you could do whatever you want, like me.
That's true.
So before I start going off and gaining wind back 1 a minute, Zenobia, you said you were looking for Ambrose?
Yeah.
You eventually, after maybe a minute of searching, because again, the bags were kind of thrown hither, thither, and yon as the thing was looking around to see what it could use as Ezra. You do find the cast aside bag containing Ambrose's head.
Okay. I will pick it up and Doctor?
Oh, God. What happened?
All right. Well, things are about to get very interesting. As she turns to look at Scarlet, goes, so I figure that this would be as good a time as any. Perota, could you please ensure the door is closed?
She closes the door.
All right, this is one of our additional companions, a steadfast comrade in arms, my dear Dr. Ambrose. She takes him out of the bag.
Yes, I am Dr. King's husband.
I'm not a
Charmed.
doctor.
It's Mr. King's husband.
Mr.
Look,
King's
he's trying to
He only has a
talk you up.
master's degree.
Just. Also, you're unconscious. Shut up. You don't get to nitpick
I'm
those.
unconscious, covered in blood and ink.
You get to be a doctor when you're unconscious, according to him.
Oh, you're so.
Zenobia will
gross
chime
right
in.
now.
I do not believe our dear guinea pig is actually a doctor.
Oh, what? That's hardly a matter. What in blazes happened here?
I was hoping you would elucidate us on what was going on with your erstwhile romantic entanglement.
Oh, God, Snow, I have no idea.
Well, we approached the room, receiving no response from our dear little guinea pig after none other than the skullduggerous Mr. Phillips indicated that he had some awareness as to potentially some sort of possession occurring with him. When we arrived, he was oozing the same ink-like fluid that we investigated and proceeded to attack us all. We, of course, had to take decisive action in incapacitating him with as minimal external destruction as possible. And as you can see, he is perfectly fit as, I believe the Irish would say, a fiddle.
So, Tyrus, you see Zenobia holding up a talking head.
Yep.
Also, a minute has passed, so you have 1 wind.
I have 1 win.
Congratulations, you are barely conscious.
Okay, so
Yeah, it was good Scarlet react to all this.
Yeah.
okay, we just almost had to kill Ezra from demonic possession. Then
Very
I watched
normal
all the
things.
magic people do the magic things. And now there's a
Mhm.
talking head just as Ezra wakes up.
All content, no filler. That's one for my Talking
I'm
Heads
going to let
fans.
you react before I wake up, just so that you have a moment.
Okay. Bruce, you have terrible timing. Bruce is trying to get into my lap.
Oh.
React, less talking to your animals.
And Bruce is the dog, for those of you playing at home.
So she's gonna stare at the head. Why do we have a head, and how is it talking?
Well, I am Ambrose, first and foremost. Pleasure meeting you as well.
Dr. Ambrose King, and to emphasize he is actually a legitimate doctor, unlike other personnel present, and I do believe you should give him some respect for his position.
I can understand why they wouldn't give you a medical license.
He was actually a scientific doctor.
I love this little side point where Zenobia is just the only people that she respects are doctors.
Hmm. Well,
Dr. Ambrose, pleasure
as-
to meet you. I've seen some stuff, but this is a new one.
Likewise. As for the specifics of what precisely occurred to leave me, he looks vaguely down, because he
As down as you can.
yeah, he's got like
I'll move his head just so he can look down.
this. We have yet to quite figure out the how any of this is happening.
Well, I would remind you, Doctor, that I did warn your paramour about tampering with the supernatural forces at hand, and he chose to systemically ignore my advice. I feel like this is only the natural reflux of his own ill-decided decisions.
Ezra did this?
No, that doesn't seem right. Or wait, was that in regards to him being ahead, or in regards to the fight that just happened?
The head thing, because Zenobia's talking about messing with the Eldritch forces and that it was Ezra that did it. And
Oh, no. Ezra's not responsible for this. This is, of course, the repercussions of reaching too far into the sun and ultimately suffering the loss of your wings. And a few other parts along the way, I should say. No offense, of course, Doctor.
Well, none taken. It is rather true, unfortunately.
Ambrose?
Good God, Ezra, are you awake?
Zenobia will lower his head close to Ezra. Will lower his head closer to Ezra.
He starts breathing heavily as he slowly gets up from the lap and starts crawling backwards as far as he can until he hits furniture or wall, whatever happens to be first.
It's a very short crawl.
Yeah.
Zenobia will still have her knife in her other hand as she's watching up with Ambrose's head and just kind of at her side, not threateningly, but she's prepared in case Ezra gets possessed again.
Ezra? That you?
He screams a little. I'm not going to worry. I'm not going to actually scream because I worry about my mic quality.
Yeah.
Also, everyone else's ears.
Mm.
More like an rather than a
Rather melodramatic, if you ask me.
You didn't want your body shoot people.
No, because I was smart enough to realize that tampering with demonic forces, as I would say that you do so carelessly, is clearly a recipe for disaster.
I didn't tamper with anything. I read a letter.
Shocking that this all occurred after I specifically advised you not to touch the letter on account of attempted possession.
This wasn't the letter. It was the normal, everyday note. I just want things to make sense again.
Well, your friends cared enough about you to stab you in the face while you were demonically possessed, and now you seem to have your wits about you.
Zenobia will curtsy.
He's hyperventilating at this point.
Dear, calm down. I know this is a lot to take in, but we've taken in
You
a
weren't
stranger.
I just want things to make sense again. Nothing has made sense.
You know
Wait, dear?
You know when you put a cat on somebody's lap to oh, here's your emotional support cat or whatever. So nobody's gonna put Ambrose on Ezra's chest. Be like, there you go. Deal with that.
Yeah, he's going to hug Ambrose extremely close to his body. Nothing's made sense. Nothing's made sense since the accident.
Parrot's gonna slip out the door and go back downstairs.
There's more things to heaven and earth than I dreamt of in scientific philosophy.
I've actually said that before to a previous companion.
He just starts crying at this point.
But I guess we could leave this to you. You seem to be thoroughly recovered. Miss Scarlet, if you could please ensure that he doesn't try to kill the good doctor. I believe that our dear Perota might act a bit hastily with Mr. Phillips again.
He could have gotten you.
It
could have gotten. I don't know what it was.
And Zenobia will head off after Parrot.
Okay.
Oh yeah, I'll put my knife away. So I I suffer a D4 wind. Yay, 1. Okay.
Okay. All right, so what are we up to now?
Which group are you with?
I don't know how to play out helping with the panic attack. I'll be honest.
We can do that off screen. That's fine.
Okay.
I mean, I personally know what to do for someone in a panic attack, but I don't exactly have psychology as a skill here.
Mm.
Yeah.
All right. Then let's take a look at the group that was going down.
Okay. Parrot, lead the way.
Parrot's gonna go yell at what's his nuts.
Parrot is going to go yell at what's his nuts.
She doesn't
You wanna
remember
go
his
track
name, and
down,
I don't remember his
D's
name.
Reese Phillips.
Reese Phillips.
Oh, Lizard Man.
I mean, if you wanted to yell at the child Curtis Deese, that would also be fine.
No.
All right. Well, as you were.
Did he keep his promise and stay in that seat?
Yes, he's still there. He's finishing up his coffee.
She grabs his tie again, and gets in like really close, and whispers, "Next time you save Ezra instead."
You like me.
And does a little like push off and backs up and goes, "You'll be explaining now."
Well, that is a awfully unusual way of expressing one's thanks, but I will accept it nonetheless. Very well. Perhaps not able to avail you of all of the information as I am still under contract. But what exactly are you looking to know?
Where is that thing coming from?
You haven't determined? Seems awfully tied to the origination points of the offices of my own fine employers, the St. Louis Respondents. But maybe that's just a journalistic hunch.
What do I shoot with the silver bullet?
Well, unfortunately, because of some of the mischievous young men who work at the Respondent, meddling and mussing about with things they can't quite keen. It's something of a free roamer at the moment. If something is fit to print, then it may well also be fit for our acquaintance to hitch a ride in till it finds someone more susceptible than yourselves. That said, it is still coming from a gate in, so to speak. And until that gate is properly closed, and you bring the dreadful little thing back to said gate, I'm gonna have a, pardon, real hell of a time trying to put anything like this down. I can assure you it is of my mutual self-interest that I remain in good graces, despite the revilement that she seems to have for me, of our mutual acquaintance, Miss Swan, but experience has taught her to be something of a doubting Thomas when it comes to me trying to express a better nature. So
Zenobia
maybe I nudged a few things around, got her some early warning, a little tete-a-tete, a little quid pro quo, and, well, she may be able to help me later on as well, but for now, it would seem that you're going to be instruments for both the Miss and I. I do hope we make beautiful music together.
What's the pay like?
The pay? Well, at the moment, I would say not being harried and hunted to the ends of the earth by some demoniacal mass of ink. But if that's not good enough, I'm sure that you'll be able to find some interesting stories in town. Perhaps Miss Swan might be able to elucidate a little more as well. But, well, I'm loath to say so, Miss Parrot, but I fear that our business might outlast this little current crisis we face. I have a sinking suspicion that you'll want to be a guest of my current contracted employer. But all in due time, all in due time. Simple warning of invitations to what dreams may come. The size of the cups of coffee you can get here, I have been nursing this thing for must be half an hour now. An incredible deal.
Has anyone told you that you are fucking insufferable?
Quite frequently. You'd be surprised how useful it is in many of the lines of work I find myself in. He's gonna
Tell
go
your
for another
employer
sip.
We need a word.
I am assuming you're meaning my human employer.
She does that thing where you like pantomime strangling someone.
Of course, you haven't even been invited to meet the other one yet. Very well. That can be arranged.
This sassy child. Sassy old man. I love him. I hate his guts, but I love him.
Great character, but something about him, you just want to punch him in the face, maybe the throat at least.
I want to take his coffee.
Okay. He doesn't fight you. Alright, this seems rather childish, but I'm paid well. Miss, another cup of coffee if in your minds.
Perota, if I may.
Yeah.
Mr. Reese, now it seems that you are deciding to be less adversarial in your relationship with us.
Oh, I was never adversarial, I would argue, but please do go on.
I would beg to differ if you are so invested in us completing our endeavors for you to be spreading what is very obviously blatant lies in your newspaper about us, attracting undue attention.
Well, I can hardly be faulted if my sources have been less than forthcoming with honesty.
As it was based on first-hand experience, I am somehow not surprised.
Very well. Now, I could rather quickly find my way to the respondents' offices, but most people find that it's rather less troublesome if you go by more mundane means. So, was there something else that you were after?
Well, I had already deduced that this entity was somehow connected to the St. Louis respondent, and it was simply a matter of discerning what particular contraption, fetish, etc. is acting as the loci, and B, how exactly we can get access to it.
Very
I
well.
would assume, as a employee, at least in a corporeal sense for the paper, that you would have some inklings as to solutions.
I may be able to be of assistance there. Do you mind if I was to be so bold as to ask a question in return?
One moment. Zenobia will reach over and grab the fucking blood thing that she gave Parrot.
Oh, yeah.
What is your question?
Are you just like holding it out?
No, I just basically grab it off of her and, just not waving it in front of him, but
You see that he pauses for a moment and rolls his eyes. Oh, that dear Miss Swan thinks so little of me. Yes. Now, if and you ask me, my pa always told me that idle hands make for the devil's work. Well, only idle hands around the office. It ain't the apprentices, it ain't the reporters, it ain't the managerial staff even. It's that funny little position twixt apprentice and proper employee. Too important to be bothering with the day-to-day activities of apprentice devil, and not important enough for any of the serious work either. If you were to perhaps speak a moment with those fine fellows, I'm sure you would find some very interesting information. Will that suffice, Miss
I bel-
Wortley?
I believe that should be sufficient.
Now, I have a question for you.
And what is that?
He leans a little closer, and the smirk he has as his default face expression stiffens into a thinner, tightly pursed lips. Has she visited you yet?
Oh, are you intimately acquainted?
We may have been colleagues once upon a time. And out of character, I am sure you know who.
Yes, I know who he's talking about. You go, how am I not surprised? It seems that birds of a feather truly do.
Oh, goodness gracious, Miss Wortley. You sure know how to verbally barb your comments.
I assure you it is not the sharpest implement I have at my disposal when dealing with troublesome questions.
I see. Well, I'm not surprised that she has taken an interest in you. You are quite something after all. And I mean that as compliment. I do hope it isn't too bold of me to say. My word, I would say that all of you might be expecting an invitation for too long to my employer. But that's talk for another day, when I perhaps am not so tightly constrained by contract. He gets up to head out. I assume you have people, youths perhaps, to meet today. If we are done here, I shall be returning to my office.
Until we meet again.
Charmed, as always. And Phillips goes out.
I appreciate all of the particular inconveniences you foist upon him, Perota.
I try.
The other cup of coffee now arrives.
I
Zenobia
take the
will-
other cup of coffee.
Okay. You get a double fist, let's go. Always bring it back to Ezra.
Yeah, well, let's bring Ezra a coffee.
All right.
Yes, give the actively panicking man more caffeine.
You can't still be panicking after all this time.
Yeah,
Totally
it's
fine.
been like a whole scene. All right.
Underestimating the calming power of a hot drink and an academic.
That's the thing. Like, either it's going to be soothing hot drink or caffeinated nightmare. There is no
But
in
what if he's one of those people whose body is broken in that way where caffeine does the opposite for him?
It might
I think
be.
they call that ADHD.
Do they?
Yeah.
Oh.
It doesn't happen to all ADHD people.
Shout out to Maud Hazel in the chat. She's where I learned about that peculiar, an unfortunate interaction with caffeine. My word, I just simply enjoy speaking in
I was like, I don't
Philip's
know why
voice
Reese
far
Phillips is
too
having
much.
such opinions about ADHD.
But yes, I hope that things are slightly more stable for Ezra as the party returns.
Hold on, I'm chewing.
Oh Lord, he chewing.
I'm being polite and making sure my M&Ms don't upset Obsidia.
Good.
I think he's done hyperventilating, but he's still on the floor, vaguely fetal positioned. Ambrose close to his chest, shaking.
Alright. You're here. I'm here. There's nothing we won't be able to figure out in time, dear.
Nothing makes sense anymore.
Perhaps we simply need to broaden our scope of what is possible. After all, there was a time when it was thought impossible that the Earth could be round until the Greek mathematicians proved otherwise. Who's to say this isn't... Discovering our world isn't as flat as we thought.
I don't know. That's still... I... It's like being told your entire life things are one way, only to find out secretly they never have been. I don't know. I shot her. I shot her, Ambrose.
You didn't
It
shoot.
You
her.
didn't do shit.
That's also part of the problem. I couldn't do shit.
Scarlett's gonna go over to Ezra, take them
And
by the
here,
shoulder,
whatever that
and just
was,
look them straight in the eye.
knows my
Just go,
invention
you
better than I do.
didn't do it.
But it did.
You
with
know
me.
what? Give me a persuasion roll.
Okay. Hang on, while I just sprint back to the computer. Persuasion.
You do... Things don't make sense anymore than they did, but you do feel surprisingly a little more comforted by that than you would have expected.
It knew my invention better than I do.
Are we back in the room yet?
Yes.
And?
Uh.
Did you learn something?
Yeah, were you paying attention?
Mary was up here with me the entire time.
Yeah, Mary was with Ezra.
That's why I didn't stick a gun in the one guy's face.
Fair.
Again.
Probably for the better.
There's still time.
Well, assuming you're stable and put together, then we can embark upon our next set of clues.
Zenobia, I swear, it was the normal bulletin from the morning. It
You
wasn't
can
anything
see
weird.
the paper is still on the ground. The text has changed.
I'm not picking it up, but I look at it.
There's no mention of a murderous madman.
It said something of... I repeat what it said. It was normal until that. And then I couldn't move my hands.
Unsurprising, you've already exhibited a capacity of spiritual weakness, so such levels of possession
Can
should
you
be
not?
expected. I'm sorry, do you wish for me to not educate you about your failings?
I think I know my
Then-
failings quite well, thank you very much.
Then I hope this was an educational moment for you.
Zenobia, when was the last time you were possessed by something?
It did try to possess me yesterday, but I resisted it, and in fact, I cautioned everyone against trying to tamper with it.
I didn't try to tamper with
Okay.
anything. It came
So
after me.
You don't know what they just went through.
Please. I understand the basic components of it. It's a spiritual possession. They feel physically and emotionally and mentally violated, having lost control of their corporeal form to entities beyond their ken.
I mean, to be fair, that is pretty accurate.
Yeah, but that
in
was also
character.
like reading about a medical condition out of a textbook.
Ow. Totoro. That's my hand.
Zenobia shrugs. She goes, I had a very thorough education.
I'm not saying, dear, that everything we have learned is incorrect. But perhaps to some degree, the things that we have learned are still valid. Why, if it weren't for the scientific method, we wouldn't have learned quite a few things about the ink just the night last. We
He
will
doesn't
come to
respond right away.
understand this, dear.
I think that only a dumbass thinks he knows everything. You just got more shit to learn.
What was it? A
Fine.
wise man knows himself to be a fool.
Yeah, that one.
What next?
That's easy. We go after this thing.
Yes, but what next in that direction?
Reese said it was
You're
coming out of
trusting
a
him?
door. I'm not fucking trusting him. I threatened him like 3 times.
We did engage in a bit
Jeez.
of a verbal quid pro quo, which for people and things like him does have some certain repercussions.
Don't might put a bullet in him.
Yeah. Reese knows more than us, but his
He didn't act on his
patron.
knowledge.
He did actually. when he stopped me from shooting that thing, he stopped me from getting possessed first.
So Parrot can muck around and be fine, but the moment I even look at a piece of paper,
Parrot did knowingly engage in a spiritual exchange with the thing under controlled conditions, as controlled as they can be.
he
She knew
huffs.
full well going into it what to expect.
I have a lot more experience with things trying to eat my soul, Ezra. And we're going to do everything in our power to make sure that that doesn't fucking happen again.
Right. It is a bit of an occupational hazard, of course, but I think with the right amount of intrepid inquisitiveness, with well-tempered security, I think we can avoid that for the coming adventures.
Look, I think it's pretty obvious. All this leads back to the printing. The printer, the ink. Why are we not going back there?
Well, I would advise you that we are in cognitive agreement as to where we will have to eventually arrive at, being the printer's office. However, us going in at this current point of the crossroads would be inopportune, as we would be the proverbial bull in the shop of China. And so what we need is a bit more information to hone down our particular target, so that we can be able to strike with surgical precision. Something which I'm sure that you, with your proclivity for waving around arquebuses, would be appreciative of.
Things like this, they don't just show up. Someone needs to open the door. We need to find out who opened the door so we can fucking close it. And we need to make sure that when we close it, the right stuff's on the right side.
This is what happened to the girl.
I'm not going to pretend to know a lot about this stuff. But I guess that makes sense to me. But how many more people are we going to lose?
He holds Ambrose closer again.
See, that's the right mentality. Make sure you are thoroughly emotionally invested in this.
Oh, I'm invested, all right. Grits teeth.
Now, we once again return to our previous point of contact, which is the dear Yoakum and Mr. Douglas. They are the closest connections to whatever nefarious activity has invoked this entity's ire. I would caution your particular return to Mr. Yoakum, my little guinea pig, on account of your stellar performance last time at his apartment complex.
For those of you who missed that episode, Ezra touched a pile of shredded, haunted letters, was the only one to fail the spirit roll, got possessed, started talking and acting without his control, and then violently vomited up the black ichor ink that was in him.
And
I
screamed.
just won't read until it's gone. You're not
It's the
just going to
spirit.
leave me here.
Excellent. Leave the reading to the professionals.
You can see on his face he really doesn't like the way she's talking to him.
Alright.
Well, I believe we have our next target in mind. If somebody could be ever so kind as to please burn that paper without preferably directly touching it, I think that would be an excellent step for avoiding potential collateral damage when we depart.
And how exactly do we burn it without touching it?
Is there a candle here? Do you have a lighter?
Hey. He looks at his glove. No, that wouldn't work. I have flint and steel in my bag, which you've already been through, so
Yes, there are no secrets between us.
I still swear to God she murdered whoever she's mourning.
Excellent. So if you could get a controlled blaze in action, I trust your particular skills in playing with fire for this, as she chuckles to herself. As I think it'd be appropriate for the rest of us to ready our things and get ready to depart.
I'll set it on fire.
Alright. And with that, I think I think with your next port of call in mind, that's a good a place to stop as any, since it's past 9 now.
Sounds good.
So, how's everyone holding up?
I burned 4 fate chips fighting Ezra.
Mm. All right. Well,
Honestly,
course,
that was
capture is
less than I was
most
expecting.
effective when you can't take advantage of it.
well, I'm glad that people enjoyed themselves or had an approximation thereof. And to everyone watching this, I hope all of you enjoyed yourselves too. I am not sure when our next session will be. The next couple of weeks are going to be fairly busy for me over here, but I will make sure to keep everyone, abreast of any upcoming scheduled games. As best I can. And to everyone watching this on YouTube, this has been my fantastic cast of characters. Let me again give everyone a chance to sign out here. Reverse order here. Zenobia, is there anything you would like to say, dear?
I would like to say happy Pride. We're all a bunch of big old queers, so gotta celebrate.
Amen.
I don't think I've run a campaign in years and years that had any cis and or het people in it. Huh. Anywho,
I mean, it's never too late.
anything
To not include them.
anything
You
you
don't
wanted to
discriminate. You have
promote?
cis friends.
Tomorrow I'm going to be playing Helldivers 2 on my friend Anna Christie's Twitch, and hopefully next week I can do a stream of playing maybe the 1990s Square Enix Dungeons and Dragons arcade game.
Ooh, interesting.
A game I legitimately played in real life as a child at an arcade.
Aw, that's
So,
cute.
yeah, so I might do that.
Hmm.
The end.
And Miss Scarlet, do you have anything to promote in the Twitch channel with the shout outs? I can't make this a good Clue reference. But yes, is there anything you would like to promote? Anything you want to tell these folks about yet?
Mental health shout out. If you're taking a breather, did you take your meds today? Did you reach out to someone and let them know you care?
Iris, I care.
Damn it.
Uh, even if you are not a member of the, even if you are not a member of the uh, the group here, please make sure you're taking care of yourself. And to all the fellas out there, especially because June is also Men's Mental Health Awareness Month. So make sure you talk with your feelings about talk about your feelings to your bros.
Talk about your bros to your feelings.
That too.
Feel your feelings when you feel them. Bottling up
Yes.
is never a good thing.
Very true.
I feel like
Otherwise, you have breakdowns like Ezra.
I feel like that meme where I'm sad. Yes, we know. I want to talk about my feelings. Yes, we know.
Don't be
That
an
is me.
Ezra. The takeaway here, don't be an Ezra.
And then we have
Be an epitome. Where yes, you know I'm sad.
then we have Hera.
Hello. I am Hemlock. I picked 3 cups of mulberries today, and I'm really proud.
Ooh, nice.
Cottagecore arc is strong.
Oh, I'm making so much syrup.
You got any raspberries or blackberries?
I have a raspberry bush, but it's quite small, and there are a family of crows in my neighborhood that are determined to let me never get a single one.
Well, if you ever
Oh.
get one, make sure to take off the top of it and put a little water in it so you can sip it out like it's a tiny little cup. Really does.
I will.
It is very like, I am now a member of the Fae.
I
feeling.
thought you were gonna ask me to send you a single raspberry.
Yeah, I would hope so. Just
Oh,
one raspberry
God.
between friends.
But yeah, I've got lots of like your character here stuff out for this month
Mhm.
because the bills are billing.
Mm,
The invoices are invoicing.
mm.
It's
And
fine.
last but not least, Ezra, dear.
Hi, I'm Epitome. This Pride Month, remember, while you're celebrating with body paint and fun, that body paint generally does not have UV protection.
It's very
If you
true.
do not put on sunscreen, you may end up with a very weird tan, let alone a sunburn, which can turn into skin cancer. So this Pride, keep yourself safe. Enjoy Pride, but wear some fucking sunscreen.
And if you do body paint as well, make sure that's over the sunscreen and make sure to seal it.
Yeah, but most of them are outside, so it's less of a concern.
Mm. But thank you all so much for everyone watching. And to those of you watching the VOD, make sure that you always be rootin', be tootin'. By God, of course, be shootin', but most of all, be kind. And happy trails to you, partner.